All right. Today we're uncovering why we can start a new healthy habit strong, but somehow get in our own way, ending up right back where we started. Today we're going to recognize 3 habits that self sabotage our progress, why we even self sabotage in the first place, and give you 5 simple ways to break the cycle and finally stay consistent with our healthy routines. Welcome back to Beyond the Scale, where we talk about health, wellness, and lifestyle for women navigating midlife. And I'm
And I'm
Jen.
Erin. And today we're talking about something that all of us face from one time or another, which is self sabotage when it comes to our healthy habits. You know that moment when everything's going really well, you're drinking your water, you're getting your activity in, you've been, eating really well. And then all of a sudden, you have that thought, I think I'll start back on Monday. Yeah, I'm going to take a little time off.
Exactly, Monday mode. But here's the thing, it's not like we don't want to stay consistent. Most of the time, it's just that there are 3 big obstacles that are getting in our way: lack of planning, time management.
All right, well, let's start with recognizing self sabotage. Okay, that old quote about we don't plan to fail, we fail to plan. This made me think about how many times well, hello there.
Hello.
Hello, Ferdinand. How many times I
We don't plan for cats to pop into our video
next thing
either.
the dog's going to arrive and start barking at the mailman. But we don't plan for that.
It's okay.
Anyway, how many times have I thought to myself, I'm going to have a great week. I'm going to eat healthy this week. Yet I failed to make a grocery list. I did not go to the grocery store. I had no food in my refrigerator that was of, excuse me, any healthy value. Yet for one reason or another, and then I wondered to myself, gee, why didn't I have a great week? I wonder why. I didn't plan. So, have you
Yeah.
ever had that, Jen? Or is it just me?
Yeah, it's just you. No. Often, right? Or I do start the week with a plan, but then come, Thursday, it's all out the window. And now Thursday's really close to the weekend. So I guess I'll just wait till Monday to get back on track. Or it's really close to that next holiday. So I'll just wait till that event's over. Yeah, we don't have backup plans. I sometimes when it comes to our health, one visual that always pops in my head is remembering me as a busy mom with little ones. Whether I was babysitting my niece and nephew or, just had a car full of little ones myself. Like I I learned the hard way when it was just me and Bella. Um, Kind of a squirrel story here, but let me just like chase a tangent to see if this helps us to understand it. When I was a first time mom, Bella was, a newborn. I remember having an opportunity to go meet my grandma and all of my aunts to introduce Bella to them at a little restaurant downtown Elgin. And I thought, right, like I'm a first time mom, I don't really know. I thought I could leave the house for an hour or two and not bring anything with me, just me and the baby in the car seat. Lo and behold, we all know what happened. Huge poopy blowout up the back, disgusting, all the things. And then I go into, the bathroom where there was no changing table. I'm now putting my newborn baby on a disgusting bathroom floor because there was a pedestal sink with no countertops. I've got her on the floor. I did have a diaper with me and a thing of wipes. I think that's all I brought. And I changed her, but she spent the rest of the lunch in a diaper naked, right? And so that taught me right there, I need to have a plan. And so I never left the house without the backup plan, the plan A, B, and C. Like, what if they get hungry? What if they get thirsty? What if they poop? What if? And so that bag was packed. I just don't know why we don't do this for ourselves as adults. Like, what if I end up somewhere and I need a change of clothes? What if I need a snack? What if I get cranky? What if I'm running errands? What if I need a vegetable? Do you get it? Like, I just feel like we just fall into this lack of planning self sabotage because we are grown ups. We're not newborn babies. We've left the house before. with ourselves. We kind of know what we need and we kind of know what gets in our own
I
way.
think we can just wing it. As
Yeah.
mothers though, I think we all learned the hard way. And the example is that
Yeah.
you did. You learned the hard way of how not to leave the house and always be prepared. I think that if we
And I never forgot
never
again.
I many of us, we learn more from our mistakes than from when things go well, which is such a powerful reminder,
Right.
especially with self-sabotage, in that when we do make mistakes, it's not the end of the world. It's actually an opportunity to learn something about yourself and learn, okay, I did
Ooh.
it this way, but that didn't really work. So we need to pivot to a different direction. I love that you learned that. And it's it's one, poopy diapers do stick with you. You never forget those.
Oh my goodness. Right. Not in the same way as pulling through a driveway or a drive through and with the plan of, ordering a diet soda and coming home with a big bag of cheese fries. We don't learn from that. That doesn't feel like a big poopy blow up, but really, when it comes to our health, they're kind of the same.
Seriously.
The next way that we sometimes self sabotage is with our time management, especially as women in midlife, where we are pulling in every direction and we're being pulled in every direction, right? Kids, work, spouses, aging parents, all the things. And so we overschedule, we put ourselves last, and we try to do too much. And I think you were even mentioning earlier when we were talking about just prioritizing something over our health, like cleaning the house or the laundry. What other time management issues do you think you self sabotage with?
Well, with that one, I think that the reason why I had done that in the past, had gone and instead of going for the walk, I chose the laundry because the laundry felt easier. The laundry felt easier.
Oh,
And
right.
and I just had that realization now of like, okay, the reason why I did that was that there were fewer steps that I had to do. It was like, okay, I could just, run down, grab it. Whereas going for my walk, oh, let's see the weather. Oh, do I have the right shoes on? Oh, do I need a jacket? Do I not need a jacket? It's that managing the time and the expectations. Sometimes we have a tendency to either
Mm.
underestimate or overestimate our time. I am the worst about that. I think I have all this time and then suddenly it's like it's just evaporated and I don't know where it goes. So
No, I'm right along.
definitely thinking about we trying too many different things. Yeah, falling into that pitfall.
Yes. Another way that we self sabotage is with our limiting beliefs. And you just mentioned, like, we want something that's easy and doesn't have a lot of steps involved. And the same happens with our thought process. Our brain kind of starts to tell us lies. It's whispering these lies in a way of trying to protect us and help us to look for creating routine and comfort. But all of a sudden now we start thinking to ourselves, I've always been this way. I'll never be successful. I'm not worth it. I I'll never reach that goal, whatever that might be. And so where the brain starts, the body follows. And so now why even try? Go ahead and bring that food in the house. Let's leave the shoes at home. Let's not even go outside to see what the weather's like. Let's just assume that it's too dangerous, too cold, too windy, too slippery, whatever outside. So I'll just stay comfortable here, watching my Netflix under my warm blanket, and then feel really disappointed and discouraged in myself because I couldn't even stick to that one walk a day that I try to plan for
Well,
myself. So yeah, limiting beliefs get in our way a lot. We got to change that self talk. Well, and I heard once at our job at work where somebody had was coming in for a weigh in and said I self sabotaged the day before my weigh in because I've already decided that what if I gain weight, or that limiting belief is what if I gain weight and I'm doing all these things right, then it's not even worth it. So I might as well eat all the things, go completely off plan so that if when the scale goes up tomorrow, then I know, oh, it was because of
mhm.
yesterday. And so in some ways the self-sabotage is we're kind of proving ourselves right, but all along, we're stopping ourselves from ever daring to be successful.
Yes. Proving ourselves right and stopping ourselves from getting to what we really, really want. Because again,
Yeah.
the path of least resistance. Yeah.
Right. Another common sign is emotional triggers. So once we go through this and we can start looking at what we can do next, but we're going to use food, Netflix, scrolling to soothe our stress and boredom. And all of a sudden, we're not realizing that we're creating patterns. That every time I don't want to clean the bathroom, I walk to my refrigerator. Every time I don't want to plan a meal, I'm, scrolling on DoorDash to see what could be delivered. Or it's just the emotions of this time of year as we're heading into all of these different holidays and we're being triggered by the emotional ties when it comes to food and recipes, but also the family memories of those that we wish were with us or those that are no longer with us, that can't be with us. And all of that is starting to kind of weigh on us. And so, in our sadness or our emotions of anger, frustration, happiness, joy, all of those emotional triggers, we start to kind of put friction in our way and allow ourselves to do nothing instead of trying to look for the successful option in the midst of these emotional triggers.
100%.
Right, we're using food as a distraction to soothe ourselves, to not face those feelings, which is why one of our first podcasts were Feed Your Feelings, Not Your Face. We know that this is an option, right? This is something that we do. So now that we've kind of, identified what some of these common signs are, now why do we do it? Why even try right now? I think that those beliefs, we start to believe them and then we stop showing up. So, why even try if I've already decided that the weight's coming back, that I'll never be successful, that I'm going to have those arguments with family at the holidays, whatever that might be. And so, very quietly and very sneakily, those beliefs are running the show. But the truth is, now that we've kind of recognized some of the ways that we are self sabotaging, the truth is that every habit is learnable and we can rewire the brain at any life.
So true. I mean, every one of those that you mentioned, I can totally relate. I was the queen of I'll start on Monday, I'll start next month, I'll start next year. Oh, January sounds like a great idea. I mean, it was just my way of letting
Yeah.
myself off the hook. I can recognize that now, but at the time it felt really valid. So let's dive into why do we self-sabotage?
Okay. Yeah. If only we could understand that part. So our brains, we've shared this in many of our episodes, but our brains want consistency. They're looking for routine, they're looking for easy. We are always going to take the path of least resistance. And let's be honest, most of us don't like change. Change is uncomfortable, right? Or we start to worry about the what ifs. Like, I can't go for a walk. What if somebody didn't shovel their sidewalk?
Yeah.
We forget, like, what if they did, right? Like, what if there's not even snow today, but we're already looking for that loophole, right? Like, I just want to stay on the couch. I don't want to go for a walk. So I'm going to kind of put all of these different thoughts into play. And the brain's looking for easy. And what's easier than staying on the couch than having to actually get bundled up, throw on shoes, leave the house to see if anyone has shoveled their sidewalks. So our brain is trying to protect us. It's looking for safety, even if it doesn't serve us or even.
I love what you brought up about the brain wants to protect us. I think that's such an interesting thing that most of us
Yeah.
don't realize. You know what? Sometimes it's also the fear of success. For a lot of us, we may have never seen that number on the tag, on the scale,
Mhm.
that job opportunity, any of those things. If we've never seen it, we don't really know if it's completely possible. And so it's so much easier to kind of decide, oh, well, I'm just not capable of that. Going back to the whole the brain believes what you keep repeating to itself.
Jumping
Change
in.
can challenge our identity, and it can feel like, circling back to what you said, very uncomfortable. And we like comfort.
Yes. And to that point, when you say change can challenge our identity, this is where I think it starts to get really tricky psychologically because honestly, we can all share that at our unhealthiest, we don't like that place, right? Like, I don't want to be unhealthy. I don't want to be out of breath bringing in the groceries. I don't want to be that mom that sits on the sidelines. I want to be participating. I don't want to be the frumpy one or the quiet one or the busy one, but I know how to do that because I've been doing it for so long, right? And not only does that identity become me, but I think we allow those around us to believe that about us too, right? Like, it's kind of like they know who we are. Like, oh, I don't ask Jen to do that because Jen always says no. Well, now if all of a sudden I'm the yes girl and I'm saying yes to everything, they're like, wait a second, did you just change the rules on me? We don't know who this is. And I don't know who it is either. So all of this starts to feel very uncomfortable. And now I'm going to take a step back and be like, well, maybe it is better. Maybe it is safer for me to be the one that doesn't participate, the quiet one, the frumpy one, the unhealthy one, the overweight one, fill in the blank,
Mhm.
right? And so, yeah, we start to fall into those traps, kind of that identity shifting, not only in midlife, but now when it comes to the self sabotage, it's almost because we are afraid of that success, or it's that perfectionism. Like, we miss that one workout, we eat an extra cookie, we decide the whole week is ruined. But we have to remember consistency over grace. Are you a perfectionist? Are you an all or nothing person? Yeah. Okay. So yeah, don't tell anyone. But I will often say, at work, when I think people are all or nothing when it comes to their health, it probably also is in other places, right? You're like a perfectionist as a housekeeper, dating at work, paying your bills, whatever that might be. But here's like the Gen version of this is I think that you want to be perfect even when you're being not perfect. Like, you want to be the best at being the worst, right? Like, so if I'm going to eat one cookie and I've screwed it up, well, now I'm going to show you how great I can be at screwing it up. Does that make sense? Like, I'm going to eat all the cookies now
Yes.
because I have to be really good at this because I don't know, right? Like, I don't know how to do something. I have to be all or nothing. And I'm going to do it
Okay,
great.
I feel naked now. I feel like you've uncovered all of that. Rings very, very true. Yeah,
Like, I
go
don't,
big or go home.
right.
Eh, Yeah, if I'm
Hmm.
going in, I'm going all the way in. And yeah, I do think, though, that
Yeah.
there have been times where my perfectionism has said, "Oh, okay, cool. So you screwed that up, so you don't have to do it today. So, all right. Now you can do what now you
Right.
can do what you really want to do, because you don't really actually want to do all those things. You're telling yourself you want to do those things, but you know what? You and I know the truth. You don't actually want to do
Yes.
this. You want to get this over with. You want to be done, and the truth is you're never done.
Yeah. We want what's
Yeah, what's
easy.
easy? Okay.
Right. And in our head, it all sounds so believable, right? Like, it does sound like a safer option to stay home on the couch watching Netflix just in case the weather's bad
Mhm.
outside. Or I might as well eat all of these cookies just in case the scale's going to go up anyway. So let's go ahead and like make sure that that I earned the gain instead of it accidentally going up when I didn't feel like I deserved it. Right. All
Ooh.
of these thoughts of self sabotage are kind of creeping in and taking over until we verbalize it. And then we can be like, oh my gosh, that's so dumb. How much weight do I want to gain between now and the day I weigh in? Or how immobile do I want to become between now and as I'm aging by staying on the couch? But in our head, safe, protected, comfortable.
Ooh, I like that. That's really good. All right, let's get practical. Here are 5
Yeah.
ways to break the self-sabotage cycle. Jen, you get us started.
Yeah. So now that we know and accept that we actually do self sabotage in different ways, however that shows up for you as a listener, But the first one just has to come down to lowering the expectation. Instead of trying to plan out my whole month, I'm going to like baby steps, micro planning. Maybe I'm just going to look at what I can do today. I'm not promising to do it tomorrow, but today I'm pretty confident that I can accomplish A, B, and C. And
I mean, really, it is all about starting small because when we think about it, most of us don't start because it feels too big. So I love that. Number two, time block for yourself. Have you ever
oh,
noticed that when you make a doctor's appointment, you go? So if you notice, when you make a doctor's appointment, you actually go to the doctor's appointment. But maybe you had planned that you were going to go to a Zumba class, but you don't put the same level of importance and significance on it. And when something comes up, you're like, oh, it's okay. I can skip that. Whereas with a doctor's appointment, it's on the calendar. We know how hard it is to get a doctor's appointment. You go. Maybe finding a way to figure out how to put some of the same significance and importance. I think there are some places, I think there are some activity classes that if you make an appointment and you don't show up, they charge you. I think, yeah, exactly. I think
yeah.
when there is something like that, we treat
Right. When you have skin
skin
in the
in the
game.
game, we treat it completely different. What else do you think, Jen?
Well, I was also you just kind of reminded me. Years ago, I read the book by Rachel Hollis, Girl Wash Your Face. And in one of those chapters, she talks about how we are the worst friend. Like we would never be with our friends with ourselves if we treated somebody else like we treat
Yeah.
ourselves. Like we are so quick to like break plans with ourselves, break promises with ourselves, like not show up for ourselves. We cancel on ourselves. But like if I was doing that to you, if you continued to ask me to show up to record or to go have lunch and I kept just blowing you off, right? Like we're not going to be friends much longer, or you're at least going to stop inviting me to
Yeah.
lunch or to hang out with you because you can't rely on me. And I think that we treat ourselves like the most horrible friend, and we wouldn't want to be friends with us if this is how we actually treated real people. But for some reason in our head, it's totally okay to cancel on ourselves, to put our health as a bottom rung on the priorities, but then we might also wallow about it and be like, poor me, like, why is life so hard? When,
Good. That is
yeah,
such a
so,
good analogy because it's true. We treat ourselves like we're enemies. It's
we're garbage.
awful.
Oh, enemies. Ooh, that's a little tougher to call it an
Well,
enemy, but you're
I
right.
mean, if you think about it, some of the
Yeah,
things that we do to ourselves, we don't even think twice about it. We're like, "Oh, it's fine." Letting ourselves
right.
down. What my husband down, wouldn't let my child down,
Often.
wouldn't let my work down, wouldn't let no, but I'd let myself down just like
Mm.
that. Just like that.
And that kind of goes into like the third strategy of just shifting the story. So when that inner voice kind of tells you you can't stick with it, you're not worth it, go ahead and cancel that class, don't show up, don't read the book, don't take the class, whatever that might be. We have to kind of talk back, like flick that little voice off the shoulder that's whispering lies to ourselves and start to even just talk to ourselves differently and say, I'm worth it, or I'm learning how to be consistent. I'm learning a new skill of walking every day. I would like to create a habit of eating a vegetable at each meal. Whatever that might look like for us, we have to shift that story and start talking to ourselves the way that we would.
Mm, good point. All right.
This is actually number
Habit
three.
stacking. Let's use our time
Mhm.
effectively. What two things could you put together? Maybe while the coffee is brewing, could you be doing the stretching? Or while you're brushing your teeth, you could be doing squats. What two things?
Women are the master at
Oh,
multitasking,
please.
right? Like this is our superpower. But when it comes to our health, we'd rather self sabotage. We'd rather make it so uncomfortably hard that we do nothing. So I love this idea of just saying, I'm already doing this anyway. Why not?
Well, for those of you who are out there listening to this podcast, maybe you could be taking a walk with us, or maybe popping your earbuds in and listening to
Oh.
us while you're chopping and doing meal prep. That would be a way of habit stacking, something fun like that.
But also, here's our last strategy, and this is a coaching strategy that I use with most of my clients is the check-in. So even if you don't have your own health coach or personal coach, I want you to take advantage of coaching yourself. Check in with yourself. Look back on the week and say, what worked? What got in the way? What didn't work? But most importantly, why? The same with like why it worked. If you lost weight this week, woohoo, celebrate that. But then you have to pause and be like, wait a second, what did I do? How come I lost weight? Right? How did I get those walks in? How did I get those meal planning times in? How did I fit this in so that I can repeat it? If I don't know what's working, I don't know how to repeat it. In the same way, if I don't check in with myself to see what got in the way of my good intentions, I have no idea where to start to even adapt and shift those behaviors. Otherwise, I'm going to be creating another habit loop that's not helping.
Lastly, is number 5, shift your inner critic.
So it's not about judging, it's not about pass or fail. It's just building in awareness instead of guilt.
Love that. I think that's such a powerful tool, because taking the time to really reflect back and look at it objectively, not the I'm just going to beat myself
Yes.
up, but actually look for the good. Look for the good and celebrate those small tiny wins as you're making progress. I think that's so important. So in closing, self-sabotage, it's not failure. It's feedback. And I think that's a huge different way of looking at it, because most of us just want to fall into the pit and say, I'm going to feel sorry for myself. I did this wrong. And so, therefore, because I did this wrong, I might as well just jump into the pit and grab the bag of chips, turn on Netflix, don't go to sleep on
Right.
time, don't get a walk in, go order some pizza. And it becomes like a
Right.
party.
I mean, how often are we bringing right? We're like, we want to make it comfortable in the pit, but how often are we even bringing food into our environment that doesn't line up with our health goals? Or we're leaving the shoes at home when we go on vacation and said, we were going to take a walk while we are traveling. Oops, forgot the gym shoes. Really, there are things that we could be doing that we could be successful with, but we are continually looking for this way to sabotage without recognizing, hang on a second, I just need a little bit of this. So,
It's
yes,
looking for more support and more structure. Maybe you have a friend, maybe you have somebody you could talk to about, like, hey, I notice you're always working out. What are you doing? Where are you going? What do you like about it? Sometimes just asking other people just to get other ideas. It's figuring out what you can do, not what you can't do.
exactly. We're not broken. We're just learning a new way to take care of ourselves. And it's going to take practice, just like anything else. Some of us have been sabotaging our health goals for most of our lives. This is going to be new and it's not going to work the first time around. We might have to continually tweak and see, like, did that day of micro planning work? No? Okay, you didn't fail at that. Now I'm going to continually look for ways to adapt and perfect the practice, right? We're just going to give ourselves grace and
Love that.
consistency.
Also, this one, pick one healthy habit. Not, we have a tendency to
Yes.
want to attack all of it. And the thing is that when we do see success, we can't always pinpoint which one of those things is actually moving the needle forward. So pick
Yes.
one small thing, one very small thing to start with, make a plan for it, give it some time on the calendar, make it a priority, give yourself permission to learn as you go. Things don't always go as smoothly the first time, right, Jen? We've learned that one very the hard way here. So,
We definitely have. And sometimes don't you think we're almost like throwing spaghetti at the wall? We're like, we're going to try 10 different things and we're just going to throw them. And then when something does work, we're not sure which one it
right.
was. And so then that sets us back as well. It's almost like a step back. So I love your suggestion of just picking one thing that I might try. Maybe I'm just gonna not bring food into the house. Like my favorite trigger food for me, it's brownies. I cannot have brownies in the house. I know the perfect way to cut the brownies so that you don't know how many pieces I've eaten. I could make them and eat them all before anyone else in the house gets home and even knew that there were brownies in the house, right? Like I know this about myself. And sometimes I think we forget that we are the expert of ourselves. So it would not serve me well to bring brownies in my home. Now, I don't want to live life without brownies, so I might make plans to. I will eat a brownie at your house. I might bring brownies to your party and allow myself one, or I might go to my favorite bakery and purchase one at a time. But these are the behaviors of me learning what works for me. But if I'm bringing brownies in the house and candy and my favorite chips and my favorite drinks, on and on, I don't know which one was hurting me and which one was triggering me and which one was helping me. So, yeah, we're going to just put it on the calendar and give ourselves permission to learn as we
I love
go.
that.
So hopefully, yeah, and I really just hope that today's episode maybe it was the little buzz in your head of allowing yourself to self-evaluate to see is there some self-sabotage happening. If you found this episode helpful, share it with a friend who's also trying to stay consistent.
Thanks for listening to Beyond the Scale with Jen and Aaron, the podcast. Don't forget to follow us. We'd love it if you'd give us a review. Join us next week as we talk about another fun topic that will help us thrive in midlife and beyond. So we will see you next week. And don't forget to wait for and see what Jen has on the coaching corner this week. We'll see you next week.
Sounds good. See you
Bye.
next week. You tell yourself that this week is going to be different, that you'll drink more water, you'll go to bed earlier, you'll eat that healthy lunch, and by Thursday, life happens and it all falls apart. It's not a weakness, it's biology. Most people think that the reason that they fall off track is that they need more discipline or better willpower, and that's simply not true. Willpower is like a battery. It drains all day long. Every decision, every stress, every should I or shouldn't I, every moment takes away a little bit of that battery. So it's no wonder that by the time we get home at night, our brain isn't weak, it's just tired, it's drained. It's also going to be looking for some consistency. And so if we haven't built in strong routines, it's going to fall back into what we've done before, which might start to feel like failure. So first, I want you to start by thinking about planning your meals and your snacks before you get hungry. Now, it doesn't have to be all day, maybe one snack or meal at a time in preparation so that we don't self-sabotage by falling into whatever is convenient. Secondly, I want you to schedule your movement. Make an appointment with yourself and don't break that date. Lastly, create a safe space and environment, whether that's work, home, or even your car. Get the healthy things close and visible and keep the temptations out of sight. And once you learn to work with your brain instead of against it, staying consistent is going to start to become so much easier. And if you're ready to stop starting over every Monday and finally create consistency that lasts, let's talk. Stay tuned for our next episode, and I'll see you beyond the scale.